So, Parshas Tetzaveh is the only parsha since the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu, Parshas Shmos, which doesn't have the name of Moshe Rabbeinu. Rebbe in the Ha'ala right away Bavarins ad Mishnah Torah, because in Dvarim there's some parshas Ekev, Le'ei, Sheftim, Tetzaveh, Tetzaveh, which doesn't either have Moshe Rabbeinu's name. But that's not outstanding, because the whole Dvarim is one hemshech. It was an oifen of, it was all hemshech echod, medaber ba'ad atzmoi, there is a nechshav k'may parsha achas shebitchilosa b'reshisa niska shmai shel Moshe. So we're excluding Dvarim, or we're including Dvarim. Because Dvarim is one long parsha which has Moshe in the beginning and the end. The only parsha that from beginning to end that doesn't have since Shmos is Parshas Tetzaveh. There's two reasons brought down. The first reason is brought down from the Ma'orei Naim because we usually read this parsha around Shiva Ba'adar, in that Gufa Shiva Ba'adar Rishon, which that brings from the Mechilta that Moshe Rabbeinu was Meis Ba'adar Rishon. There's the L'chutei Sichos, the Deis, and the Shako Otarya, but the Rebbe learns and it's Adar Rishon. So Tetzaveh is next to Adar Rishon, so to be like the Indian of Histalkus of Moshe Rabbeinu, it doesn't have his name. Second reason, because Moshe Rabbeinu said in Mayin Mechini Nam Mesifrecha, if Hashem won't forgive the Yidden, he should get erased. Kilo Aschacham Afilu Atnai Ba. That's what the Gemara says in Makis. So even though Hashem forgave the Yidden, he said the words Mechini Mesifrecha, it had to be Mekoyah. The Rebbe has a shaila. The beginning of this sikh is it's very good for Talucha and for Mitzayim. I've used it in the past. It's very malubish. It's the Chelik Kanigla of the sikh. That on both of these reasons why Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not here, there's a shaila. The Rebbe says that's the Parshas why there's two reasons, because both of them have a shaila, so tzricha, we need both of them. But still, both of them have a shaila. The vart of Moshe Rabbeinu Mes, the shaila is that the Gemara says, with regards to the Megillah, the Homaisud, the Haman, that his mistake, that was exactly his mistake. He was happy that it's a bad month because Moshe Rabbeinu was nostalgic. He didn't realize that Bashiva Badr Noilad. And the Leidah, Kedaya Leidah, Shedachaper Ala Misa. I mean, Leidah is stronger than Misa. If anything, this is now Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday, it should have quadruple amount of time saying the name of Moshe Rabbeinu, because Leidah is strong. That's the Yiddish approach. Legabe Moshe Rabbeinu, Kedai HaLeidah Shadchaper Lamisa. Legabe, there's the other reason. Mecheninam Nesifrecha. The question is, why is it being said now? Which is, we didn't read it about yet. We're not now in the time of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, and we didn't read yet in Torah the story of Chet HaEgel. That's actually going to be in Parshas Kisisa. So why in Tetzaveh, which is before Kisisa, we're already doing the Mechenim Mesifrecha? Moshe Rabbeinu didn't even say it yet. It says that Bepahar 17 that the Pashtus, the way we put both reasons together. It's like we have to erase Moshe Rabbeinu's name because he said Mechenim Mesifrecha. Because this is when he passes away, so this is a good time. Passing away itself is not a reason not to have it, because Aleida is Mechaper Ala Misa. But because we have to erase him anyway, and they're passing away, so it's a good week of having it. Avol Mistaber Yisr Loimar. Rebbe says that it's two separate things, because also in the Svarim that these things are brought down, they're brought as two separate reasons. We have to say that there's a kesher between them, because when Torah has two reasons on one thing, there's some sort of kesher. But to say that that's the whole thing, like it's Siruf Yachad, it's not Mistaber. It's Mistaber that each reason on its own is a complete reason, and then we'll find the kesher with Siruf B'nei. So the Rebbe gets into the whole thing on the mile of Shiva Ba'adar. We know this word that Rebbe brings down in other places that why do we say that the whole Mishenichnas Adar Marvin B'Simcha? Because it says Chodesh Asher Nepach Lehem. How do you know it was a Chodesh? It was just the Gzeira of Yud Gimel was turned on from a sad day to a happy day. Because he thought it was a sad day, because the bad thing was going to happen, because Haman saw that it was Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit, Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit is Zayin, and he wanted to make a Gzeira on Yud Gimel. That means he understood that the bad thing of Istalkus is Poel even a few days later. That means he understood it has an effect on the whole month. So when we say that it's a good month, because the K'day Yem Leil Shulchaper Elamisa, because he says the birthday is Poel on the whole month, that the whole month should become a happy month. And Ad K'dei Kach, there's the Shita of the Rosh, the Ramah is a Yerushalmi, and the Ramah brings it down. If someone mamish needs to read the Megillah, like his only chances from Rosh Chodesh and on, he can read the Megillah. The whole month becomes like Purim Dik, because it's the effect of the whole Yisod of the Nes is Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday, and that already has effect on a Chodesh. So the whole month is Purim Dik. If it's such a big schos,
What type of raya is it that Haman realized that the whole month is...
No, in the Sikh Chilik design, there was it's just Zah Klor Zah as a Filu Haman Eina Yehudi versteht that Macht der Cheshbonei. The real raya is from the fact that it worked. And we see that the miracle happened. That means it has an effect. And 7 days later, 6 days later, it says the whole month is already a happy month. Question is, looking in the sources, we don't see this being mentioned as like a month of schus. It says clearly that the Parshas Divrei Gemara, it's just that it's mechaper. It takes away the bad thing. Not that it becomes a special month. The Marbin B'Simcha and a Chodesh Hashanah. Just by a tzaddik, his life is more because he continues living, so it takes away the bad of the histalkus, but it's not mashma. Especially from a medrash, there brings here a long medrash that Haman says, "Allah reish chedesh other le'matza by shum schus, loy nimtza loy schus, other ein loy schus, mazol ein loy schus, loy oid ba'ader meis Moshe Rabba." Who lo yoda shebe echad ba'ader meis Moshe. Later, the Rebbe is going to say why it says echad ba'ader. No, it's another thing. Here, the Rebbe says some mistakes. It's meant to be b'shivi ba'ader. You're going to see soon, hour 34. And B'meila, there's take and mazel of fish. Fish sometimes swallow, sometimes get swallowed. So Hashem says, now you're going to be swallowed. So it looks like the Indian of Leida Moshe is just like to take away the bad thing. That's how it comes. Like it looks there, he didn't find any schos. There is no schos. Not only that, there's a bad thing. We didn't know that this bad thing is also a good thing. And in this case, the fish is going to swallow up. This case, something good will come out of it, but it doesn't say, and he didn't know that it has a schus. It still stays like his havamina that there is no schus. So, Ebazai, where do we see, or Akolpanim, what's the hasbara that the whole month What do you get it that the whole Chodesh Asher Nepach, the birthday is enough to take away the Misa? That means, in the Havamina, in a way, the Rebbe is looking at it, is that the Pashup Pshat of K'dayeh Maleder, that there's passing away of a tzaddik is a sad thing. The Leid of a tzaddik is how Hashem celebrates his lifetime. The 120 years, his accomplishments. So the accomplishments is better than the bad siman. And a good siman, so the good siman is about the bad siman. But still, in overall, we're not speaking here about something extraordinary. The birthday of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's still an ordinary month without anything special. We don't see here a highlight of this month. And I think we already know the Bira of the Rebbe. That's it's hard for us to understand the question. We know from the Sicha Chela Chavav of Moshe Rabbeinu how it's like a nitzchis of Moshe Rabbeinu. But it's in Pshat. Hashem was so fond of his birth that it takes away the bad thing, and it's mechaper sachakol means it's sevished up. It takes away the negative, but it stays that it's a regular month. It's from that. So the Rebbe is reading the Medrash, and the Medrash is saying like, okay, it was a regular month. Punkt here, this fish. So now this fish will eat up this fish, but it doesn't say because it's episode Gar Gavaldik month. This time, Moshe, the schus of the Yidden will. Because Hashem had his cheshbonis, because he didn't have Mesiras Nefesh, because Balayla it doesn't matter. But in biyachas to the poor and to falling on another there's no schus, and the later is mechaper on the misa. From that to say the whole chodesh hashanapach shiva badar noilad, where do we see that? What's the meaning behind it? So Gimel is what we know already, because the Rebbe says this a lot of times, that what's really behind Moshe Rabbeinu's birth is the concept of Mazali Geiva. Moshe Yisrael Hey Moshe. We know by birthday it's Mazali Geiva. So there's the Mazal Ashelit Bayim Ahu Oizerlai. In the Sikha of Yom Aledes, the Rebbe goes into, it's not so much the Yom, it's the Shah, but it's the Shah, but it's the Yom, whatever. It's the Mazal related to his birthday is very strong on that time. So since Moshe Yisrael Hey Moshe, so it's like the birth of the Yidden. Geiva Mazalam Shal Yisrael. That's why on Purim we read the Kriya Vayik Hashem Yarim Moshe Yodav V'Govar Yisrael, because this is the month. It's V'Govar Mazolam Shal Yisrael. This is what's happening this month. The Meila the Chodesh Mizem Moving Amagel Lamazal Da Chodesh Shebechodesh Sheneled by Moshe Oizer Hamazal Shel Chodesh L'Zgabras Hamazal Di Yisrael. Here, I'm not sure why the Rebbe says it this way, but that's how the Rebbe said. I would think the Rebbe say the mazel of the Yidden makes strong the mazel of the month. But the way it's written here, the Rebbe says, since you have the mazel of the Yidden, which is an amazing thing, so the mazel of the month wants to help out to the mazel of the Yidden. But L'chein, Adar becomes, this goes the other way around. L'chein, Adar becomes a very strong mazel, a very strong month, because Leidas Moshe Yisrael is poil on the whole Chodesh Shaboy Geber Mazolam Shal Yisrael. The month comes to help Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday, and the Mela Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday is poil on the month. Faces in the whole month. The Rebbe is explaining the Seder how it works. Moshe Rabbeinu was born on a certain date. The Yidden are very strong. It's strong. So the month is very happy that in his month came Moshe Rabbeinu. So it wants to be very proud of Shiva Badr that it has the day of Moshe Rabbeinu's birth on that day. Since it gets close to Moshe Rabbeinu, so Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday spreads out to the whole month. In exchange of, since the Mazel of the Chodesh helps the Mazel of Yisrael, so it goes back. That's the Rebbe's words. I don't know how Mazalas look and how it works, but something that one touches the other one. That's the Seder. The Mazel of Moshe, the Mazel of the Chodesh is helping Mazel of Moshe, so Mazel of Moshe plays on the whole month. That's why the whole month becomes a great month. So this is the Hasbara, which we didn't have before. Now we understand it's not just a schos. Hashem loves the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu. We're speaking about a Chefza, Metzias. The Mazel of Yidden is very strong in the month of Adar. So when it says, so back to the Medrash, that he says like, he didn't know that Moshe Rabbeinu was born then. Says the Rebbe, because it's so strong. It's so strong that it doesn't even have to go back to the beginning of the Medrash. There is no schos. It's like you have to read the Medrash like it's underlined. The words Moshe Rabbeinu was born, underlined, exclamation points. Moshe Rabbeinu, that means the Yidden, the etzem of the Yidden is here. So Mamela, yeah, you're right. There's no schus. It's not like a schus. It's not like a mazel. It's gar. It's bein areich. It's the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu, which means the birth of Yidden, which is the mazel of the Yidden, which is higher than everything. He's right that he didn't find them in the level of mazalis that he was looking and schusim that he was looking. There's nothing. But when he didn't chap the birthday, and it's not just mechaper, Lashon taking away the problem. it really becomes much stronger. So the Rebbe, as usual, lets us read something normal and be able to see where to put the emphasis. The Mazel Shel Yisrael is lighting up the sugya that it's Mazali Goiver, and that's the reason why Achodesh Asher Nepach. The Rebbe says something very interesting in Dal. Why this that Adar is Zeichet to have the birth of Yidden, but we see that's why Adar is able to be a Ibriyor, because that's the whole vart of a Yid, to be Moisif, to be Mechadish. The only month that could redouble itself, Kaflaim with the Shia. That's why it's the only month that can end up to be 60 days. The ending of 60 is Bittul B'Shishim, to get rid of all negative things. That's the avoid of a Yid. A Yid, Dafki Yidden have this special koich of his Hapach Hashem and Hira, which is explaining Siddur Baruch is a very big chiddush. To be able to Mahapech Choshech La'or. It's only a Yiddish thing. And that's also why this is the month that has the ability to equal out the moon and the sun, to catch up the moon to the sun. That's the of which perhaps there was referring to the whole idea. Yidden is Yid Levana, Shem is Achama, the Yidden's Avodah, that they become one like the Eivishter. Or even the basics of doing this time of Mashiach, Shasidim L'Schadish K'moisa. Shasidim L'Schadish K'moisa, that Yidden will become, instead of being a moon, just a receiver from Hashem, will become like the sun. It's equaling out that a Yid could become out like Hashem. This is because it's the birthday of Yidden. That's why it's happening in this month. Especially this year, that Rosh Chodesh was Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is to fix the break of Monday. That's only a Yid could do that. Wednesday is the day when the moon and the sun, that's right there, the moon and the sun being equal. When it was created, it was equal. Right there, only a Yid has this koyach. When you have Gimel Dal together, you have Zayin, that's Moshe Rabbeinu's birthday, and you have God, Mazel Tov, that's the Iskabrus HaMazel. The Mazel of the Yidden is very strong, especially when in a month when Rosh Chodesh begins, like this year on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, we have to speed up. So the Rebbe goes back. Hey, this Mazel is not just okay. We just said the Mazel of Yisrael. The Rebbe says the Mazel is, it could still be like removed from a Yid. Like we know, it could be your birthday, your Mazel is strong, but you don't feel any difference. The Rebbe explains what the Mazel of the Yid means is Koyach HaMesiras Nefesh. It's his etzem on neshama, which from that his noisel, his whole neshama comes down to him. Ein Mazel Yisrael means Ein Mazel Yisrael. It basically means the koyach hamesiras nefesh in a yid. That's why bari takif. This is a time when the etzem of a yid comes out. That's what we saw in the time of Purim, that the yid went on mesiras nefesh because they were born. It's coming out begilu, the etzem of a yid, the koyach that yid's able to go on mesiras nefesh. And that's what Adar is Meloshen Adir, which also means strength. The Gemara says if you want to have good investments, you should do it in Adar, because Adir B'mar Masha, it's a time for strength. This comes from the strength of the Yid. Now, this strength of Mesiras Nefesh, Hashem made, it shouldn't just be strength, let's kill ourselves and leave this world. Moshe Rabbeinu was born in Shiva B'Adar, 7, which is the world. They're supposed to live Mesiras Nefesh, which 7 is 7 midas, and 7 says Moshe Rabbeinu was born, the whole house started lighting. Meaning this etzem is supposed to come into Giluyim, and that's what Moshe Rabbeinu did in his lifetime, put up the Mishkan, and it said Basiligani, he brought Hashem into the world through the Shiva Tzadikim, to bring this strength of the Yidin, the etzem, into this world. And here's the famous Ara 81, that the Basiligani was said by Rebbe Menachem, Chasnei Rebbe Lazar, which that the Menachem is Menachem Shmoy, the name of Mashiach. He's the one saying Basiligani. So that means that because Mazel is such a high level of etzem, we want to bring it down into the 7, into this world. That's connected to Yud Aleph Nissen. Bar Yud Aleph, that this level of Yud Aleph comes down into this world. The whole Arichos here in the Haaretz about thinking of Nissen. Let's just that's about the Tetzaveh. This answers, so in Sif test, this answers the connection of the two Hezbeirim are the same thing. Of how come it's not the name of Moshe Rabbeinu in this week's parsha? Not because he passed away, it's because he was born. And when he's born, is the Skal of the Etzem. Etzem is above a name. And like when a child is born, it's just he is here, the Etzem of Moshe Rabbeinu. What is the Etzem of Moshe Rabbeinu express himself, and not that he's erasing his connection to Torah just for a Yid, that even a Yid that did Chet HaEgel, that he's erasing himself for that, he's here for the Yidin. That's the Etzem HaMoshe Ben. When this week's Parsha is Nisgala, because it's Shiva Badar, it's his birthday, which is the Etzem of a Yid, that's why that's the reason, that's what gave him Koyach, next week's Parsha, to erase himself for the Yidin, and because he's born, it's above a name. It goes in. This is when the pine that happened that week, which that's the name of Kiddush Hashem. It brings out from the story of the Beis Yosef that Kiddush Hashem is even greater than writing the Shulchan Aruch. It was right? So that's the thing of Moshe that's similar to Moshe Rabbeinu, that he said, erase me from the Torah. He says saving yourself for a Yid is even higher than the Torah. That's what's being brought out in Tetzaveh, higher than Torah. Moshe and a Yid. Lapoil, though, it's not supposed to say like that, and it's not a big Mesiras Nefesh that she had, but it's meant to be in Chaim Nitzi, it's meant to be in Admosai. There's no reason that it should be. The real Kiddush Hashem is that she should come back and raise her children. The Meil Doiro is that we should, one hand, Doiro is to have the Etzem, but in a way of Bari Masli, Bar Yinalf, live with it, bring it down into Poil and Protea Oilam, which that's B'Shleimus and Chedesh Nissen. That's the Doiro, the upcoming Parshas, building the Mishkan, count the Yidin, Ya'akov building the Mishkan of Poil, Ya'akov Kodei, Hashem coming down, Me'ikr Tzav Shmini. Shmini happened on the Chedesh Nissen, that's the Shleimus of it coming down all the way down here. So B'Kitzer, that's the Hira that the Nasi Adar, the Rebbe mentions that the Lapine happened in this Shchuna, is a raya that she had this koyach from Moshe Shabbadur. That means she's getting this from Moshe Rabbeinu. This koyach of having this high Mesiras Nefesh is coming from the Etzem, which is from the Nasi Adar. But it shouldn't stay like this. We have to bring it down in a way of bari in every single prat and getting ready for the Geula, because we're there Ashvi, bringing it down here, and we have a kesher to Yud Aleph Nissen. That we gets into our 168. After that, we'll have Hashem Zayzoch, Hashem Kochim Meshachtiv. Shiur will take it from Dvar Malchus. There's the second season everyone should learn. Then there's the Maimer about the Tetzaveh.